The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Let's talk about today's movie, Eden, where Amber and Scott will debate whether utopia is ever more than a 3-day trip gone wrong. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Alrighty, boys and girls, this episode we are talking about Eden. Eden unravels the shocking true story of a group of disillusioned outsiders, and they abandon civilization. They settle on a remote, uninhabited island only to discover that the greatest threat is not the brutal climate or deadly wildlife, but each other. And boy, is that the truth.
Don't trust thy neighbor.
Yeah, so we have our main characters, Dr. Ritter and his companion, Dor, and they are living on this island, I guess kind of hiding out during World War II. And there is another family, a man and his son and his new wife, and they also want to escape to this island that is near the Galapagos. And Dr. Ritter does not like that someone else has come to the island. Then another party comes, and it is a self-proclaimed baroness who we find out is really just nobody who has adopted this persona of being an important, rich, wealthy, influential person. And her entourage of sex kittens, all the men brought along to help her with a project of building a hotel there, but basically service her sexually at her whim. And Dr. Ritter is increasingly annoyed that these people are on his island, and the Baroness is a bad gal and steals food and creates conflict and turns her harem of men into little minions to do her evil deeds.
Yeah, they were not good people.
No. So what would you do if given the opportunity to start anew and be self-sufficient and disconnect from society and build a new society?
I would not do it.
End of episode. Thank you for joining, everybody.
No, I mean, I wouldn't. I have no desire for the things that they did.
You do like your internet.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not exactly the socialite type, but let's not get that far from civilization.
Yeah. So one of the things that happens after escalating conflict between these three groups of people is everyone finally gets fed up with the Baroness after she just sends her men harem to do all of her evil deeds. And they finally come to the realization that this cannot continue. And Dr. Ritter actually shoots her. But he frames the guy from the other family.
Because he doesn't want them on his island.
He is a bad guy. And what makes it even worse is the wife, Margaret, she helps Dr. Ritter's companion, Dor, giving her information that could help her rid herself of his presence, which is now turned into just a terribly toxic situation. And then even after Margaret helps her, Dor still falsely plants this narrative with the authorities that Margaret's husband was the one who shot the Baroness instead of Dr. Ritter. So what would you do if you were Margaret, where you have found out that your husband is not only trying to get framed once, but get framed twice for a murder that he did not commit?
I mean, you do what you can. She took it upon herself to get Dor to kill her own husband and then painted the fairly correct pictures to the authorities. So,
well, okay. So
she could keep her husband from being framed. I mean,
but he was dead at that point. Oh, Margaret. Okay, I'm sorry. I got confused with all your pronouns there. So, but what would you do?
I mean, pretty much exactly what she did. I mean, like, she knew that they were not exactly the most welcome, and if they wanted to protect what they had built, they were going to have to do what they had to do.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little lost with your days because we have 3 camps. So we
Well,
have
the Baroness is dead.
right, but we have the Baroness in her camp. We have Dr. Ritter and his companion, and then we have Margaret, and then her husband and stepson, and the baby that she actually has on the island.
There was a lot of double crossing and more double crossing in the entirety of this story. And at a certain point, you have to realize that you're looking out for number one. And number one could be an individual or it could be a family, but that's who you have to look out for. And as soon as you understand that any of these people could double cross you, you have to take care of them before they take care of you.
So you're on the island, let's say you're Margaret's family, and they have a lot of canned foods that they have brought to the island with them with a bunch of other supplies. And the Baroness, obviously jumping around here in the timeline, but before she's dead, she sends her guys out to steal all of their canned goods because they have run out of food. What would you do in that situation where someone's come into your house, they've taken all your canned goods, but you live in proximity and you know these people are trouble? What do you do in that situation? Because I think we've all been in some sort of situation where we can tell someone's trouble.
I mean, when there's 3 essentially families on the island, if something goes missing, it's not too hard to pinpoint where it's missing to.
Well, and then in this case, too, the Baroness's guys gave them, Margaret's family, a gift of their own food when the baby was born.
I mean,
food that they had stolen.
The truth of the matter is this whole thing is a might makes right situation. Like, you're basically in a lawless society here. Yeah, apparently it's not completely lawless, but it requires somebody to send a letter and hope that it's read, and then somebody might vote out there. It is effectively a lawless society. So
what would you do if you were Margaret? Someone came in, or Margaret's husband, where you know someone's come into your home, they've stolen your food, and you have close proximity to them, and you know that they're trouble. What would you do?
If it's me, I have one of 2 options. Either one, I play nice and just secretly loathe them, or I kill them. There's no in between. Because here's the thing. If they've initially came and stolen from you, they've now shown that they are willing to do probably most whatever they need to do. So if you pose back some resistance, like, could you please pass the stolen meat? All that's going to do is get them angrier. And the truth is they're younger, faster, stronger, and
well, there's more of them. At one point there was 3 able-bodied men and the Baroness. She sent one of them off to the beach I guess he died. We never really heard what happened to him because there certainly was no way to get off the island. And even after he left, there was still 2 young, guys in their 20s and her. So from a strength standpoint, they definitely won out over the other 2 groups on the island.
Hands down. So either you're okay with your neighbors coming and robbing you and doing whatever, or you kill them. If it's me, I kill them.
So I'm not...
And you don't do it through negotiation.
So I'm not a huge fan of the word pussy whipped, but I gotta say the guys that serviced the Baroness definitely were. We have Rudy, who actually tried to get away from her spell, but always got reeled back in, even at the very last time where you think he's finally going to stand up for himself and separate himself from her, but then does another evil deed that creates conflict with the other 2 groups on the island. What would you do if you were caught under the spell of someone who kept asking you to do things that you really didn't want to do?
I mean, so you're kind of once again in a might makes right situation here of, if I stand up to her, what happens? Well, if she's got 2 other guys that are going to stay loyal to her, or however many.
I don't think it was about fear of what was going to happen from him for the other guys. I think these men were truly enthralled with her, and that they...
Then you picked your side. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean...
But if you knew... I'm asking you, because that's what we do here. If you've thought that you could see that you were being manipulated by someone, and Rudy did see that, would you continue to let yourself be manipulated like that?
No, of course not. Absolutely not. I mean, I'm typically really good at seeing when I'm being truly manipulated. Like, you'll get the first one over on me. You'll get the first one over. But I definitely am the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If I see that you're manipulating me, you'll get me one time, and you'll only get me one time, unless I am. Unless it is a mutually beneficial situation, and in which case I'm not so much being manipulated, I'm just going along.
So Margaret's husband, Hines, was the one who was being framed for the murder of the Baroness. And he did a remarkable job making a inhabitable place where they could actually do well there. They were set up by the Dr. Ritter in the worst possible place where he thought they would be gone within days. And Hines built them a home. Hines set up a water source for them. Hines, and Margaret built an area where they planted crops and they actually flourished. He rounded up a cow from the island and corralled it, imprisoned it for milk. And
I mean, if you're one of the three little pigs and you don't want to get your house blown down, that's the one you go to.
Yeah, it was made of stone.
Yeah.
Definitely not straw or sticks.
Or tents.
Yeah. If you went to an island, do you think you could do what Hines did?
Could I? Yes. Absolutely. Would I like it? No.
You're not a fan of physical labor. Not that anybody is, but you're less of one.
I am very much a survivalist in that I am willing to do what I need to do to survive. And if that is what is required of me to survive, then I'm going to do it. Doesn't mean I want to do it. So, yeah, if I have any option to avoid that, I'm going to take that option.
So one of the interesting parts of this film is that Dr. Ritter and his companion Dora are vegetarians. And at one point, a wild pig, breaks into their garden area and eats all of their food. It doesn't take very long for Dr. Ritter to kind of just give in and saying, okay, well, so much for that. And trades a rifle with Hines and cooks up the head of a cow.
Vegetarianism is a luxury, if I'm being honest.
It definitely is harder if you're on a remote island in the 1930s. I will give you that.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, there's a reason hunter-gatherers. You did both. And in 2025, living in Los Angeles, if you want to be a vegetarian, you can be a vegetarian because you have every resource necessary to be able to keep yourself fed and not starving and still not kill animals. But in that situation, everyone's trying to survive. Everyone is trying to survive. All the animals are trying to survive, and all the humans are trying to survive. And if you're a human, you do what you have to do to survive. And if that means you're killing and eating animals...
Well, the point of it wasn't even a survival thing. It was that Dr. Ritter was on this island basically declaring the creation of a new evolved society, and he was living an example of what life could be like. And he seemed to trade on his greater mission and cause and calling in life pretty quickly.
I mean, I'm still wondering why he didn't have a problem with that boar if he'd already been there for 4 years. And the boar is just now becoming a problem?
Yeah, accidents happen. Although, actually, maybe it was one of the Baroness's people who did that. I don't know.
I mean,
they were up to shenanigans a lot.
Wouldn't put much past them.
Yeah, so did I say the name of this film? It was Eden. Would you consider this Eden? I don't consider this island Eden.
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, Eden was a man and a woman just kind of dropped in and said, take care of yourself. It's not a utopia by any means.
But the Garden of Eden is prefaced as a utopia. simple one. I mean, it's not a Disneyland, but
Yeah, well, once that bitch Eve handed over an apple, gates shut down on that one. Stupid Eve. Yeah, no, I mean, it's no utopia, but it's the beginnings of a society. And that's really the greater point to Eden, is it being the beginnings of society.
And for folks who don't know, this was based on a true story. So this wasn't just a film. The film was put together based on footage that was actually taken during visits from other ships and people who visited the island, and multiple books that were written. And this movie was based on the accounts of all of those.
Yeah,
sources.
Chicky was pretty young there. She in her 20s. And she lived on the island until she was 93.
Yeah.
Running a hotel. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Final thoughts on Eden?
I wouldn't do it. No.
Say no to Eden?
Say no to Eden.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.